Okay. Now, there is, so like, anybody want to tell me how you would how you'd make a hub for this? I mean, or a center hole?
Draw a circle anywhere you want.
And a line.
Group them into a line.
And size them with the text boxes. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So, step by how to make the gear that's in the picture is there. All right. Okay. We'll go down to the next one. Now this one entails something a little more. I'm going to show you a trick here. Now, I've used this to make clock faces, analog meter faces, because I like to make analog meter clocks, and making an analog meter face that was really custom. This really was a nice technique. And I also use it here to make encoder wheels. All right. So we'll just look at, there is a trick here that I want you to see. Alright, let's get Mr. Gear off to the side. Okay. So, the first thing I'm going to do is draw a big circle. And I'm going to select him, and I'm going to make him, for grins here, I'm going to make him 4 inches wide. 4 inches this way.
Can't cut helical teeth, that's the real question. Yeah.
All right, okay. Now I'm going to create a little rectangle. And on my rectangle, I want to make that a special size. I'm going to make him 0.3.
0.75.
0.75.
That's a big encoder.
Okay, now, this is the trick. I'm going to go ahead and create another circle. All right. On this circle, I'm going to make him 0.01. 0.01.
You can't quite get him.
Okay, that's close enough. All right, that's a little circle, right? Now, I'm going to select the big circle. Both of them are selected. I'm going to do a horizontal and a vertical. So now that little circle is in the center. Okay, it's right in the very center of the thing. Now, the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this guy up kind of to the edge. Okay, I'm going to select the big circle, and I'm going to do a vertical alignment. And this is the thing that I want you to see. If I come in here and I click again, I get where I can see the center of rotation. I mean the center of the object. Mm-hmm. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that center of that object, and I'm going to snap them to that little, because of these snap settings, it should have snapped. Let me blow it up just to make sure it did. It did. Okay, so it snapped it. Now, so I've snapped the center of this rectangle to the center of the circle.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to, at this point, I'm going to open up another tool called Transform. Okay. And it put it on top of the align and distribute. Right? What we're eventually going to get to is rotate. Now I'm going to put 16 squares real quick around this. Because for time, I probably won't put all 16 of them, but I'll give you enough to get the idea. Well, it'll take 356 360 and divide it, it turns out to be 24, okay? All right, so I'm going to leave that there. Select this guy again. Now I'm going to do a duplicate. Now that's Control D, and I'm actually going to use that command. Now the difference between a duplicate and a copy and paste is the duplicate does not use the clipboard, and it always puts it on top of the original object. When you use the cut and paste, you can do that, but most people set their cut and paste to paste wherever the cursor is. Okay. There are some advantages to not using the clipboard, but in this case, I'm just going to. It also not only does it put it on top of the original object, but it makes it the selection. All right. So now I'm just going to hit apply, and so then I could hit Control D, apply, Control D, apply. You see where this is going? Mm-hmm. I can make a whole circle with these. Then I would select them all and group them. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, I did one thing wrong here. What I should have did when I made my original rectangle is I should have set the stroke to being red. Mm-hmm. Then all of these would be red, and I wouldn't have to go around and futz around again. Okay. So this is how you would make any encoder, how you'd make an analog meter face, how you'd make a clock face. Okay. And here's one of the, I brought a couple encoders. There's a couple of encoders, and you can see the type, can be made with that. Okay, so I'm going to take our encoder wheel and dump them off. Oops, didn't have it grouped. So I do my edit undo move. Yeah. And put this guy in the collapse. And select all. Group, and then I'll move them off.
So I'm guessing you made the slits so you don't have alignment issues? Because they're pretty good sized slits, right?
What?
I'm assuming you made large slits or long slits for to get rid of alignment issues? Or?
Okay, I made the spine slit. Now, with the fine slit, because of the IR encoder, the IR diode I had to use, and the IR the transistor, I actually had to make a laser cut slot that I put over them. So there's a slot so that it's only like seeing like through a tank thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that was to improve the resolution. I think that.
That way you didn't get false positives. That way you didn't get false positives.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. One last. We're almost finished. All right. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Making the DPRG key fob. Okay. Now, I'm going to pass two key fobs out. All right. One of them is done in Masonite, and it has by accident a few little extra little cuts on it. That, but I wanted to do this because it's sometimes easier to see this.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to pass around, and this one has been done so it's inverse engraving so that you look through the clear side, and you can see that. Now, what I'd like to show you in this, there's a couple of things here. One, how to turn a bitmap into a vector, how to place text on a path, because that's a little hard, and then how to clone and space an object, which is something if you're going to make a whole bunch of something, this is what you would do. Okay? We'll do this real quick. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm going to create a rectangle. I'm going to go up here and make this guy 1 inch by 1 inch. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to do copy and paste on this guy. Now I got 2 squares. I'm going to come in and put 2 horizontal guides. Double click on that. Put one at looks like 3. Then I'm going to bring another one down. Click on him. And I'm going to put him at 4.25. 0.125, I'm sorry. Okay. Now, here's a, you don't always want a square to have sharp corners. So what you can do, if you grab this little circle up here, is you can round the corners. Okay? Now, if you take that to the really crazy limit, it turns it into a circle. All right. Okay, so now I got a circle that I made from a rectangle. Could I made it with a circle? Yeah, I could. But I wanted to show you that you could make a rectangle into a circle. So I'm going to grab this guy here, and I'm going to bring him, that one, scale him. I'm going to bring him down here, and he pops on that guy. Now I'm going to bring this guy, and I'm going to bring him up here. Okay. Now, I don't maybe
The size was off a little bit.
yeah, size is a little off. Let me see here. What did I must have? Let me check this guy. That's good. All right, because we're gonna but then I would hit both of them, select both of them. They're both selected.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a path union.
You need to center them first.
You're probably right. Undo the union, and then okay. Hold on, see what's over here. And I'm going to do. There. Okay. Now we're good. Now we're going to do the path union. All right. Make another little circle. And size him to be 0.125 by 125. Okay, I'm going to change his stroke to bring him. There's a problem that you can run into. Delete it. Now, I'm about in the right place. Select. Boom. Object. Group. All right. Now there's your little. If you like oval ones, diamond ones, star ones, you can do whatever you want. Okay, but there's a shape.
Yeah.
And that shows you how you can take multiple shapes and put them together. Now, the next thing I'm going to do here is use the text tool, and I'm going to put Dallas Personal Products Group. Okay. And you can change the size of that if you want to. Now I'm just going to grab a circle, and I'm going to make kind of a rectangle-y thing. And I'm going to start him. Let's see, what would be a good. We've already got that down here. I would, let's see, just try it, have to try some numbers here. Okay, so it looks like I want to be 180. I can't for some reason remember, I don't know why, I can't seem to remember what their zero, where their 0 point is. Okay, the 0 apparently is what I would call 90. Is it that way? Okay, well that might be why I can't remember it. Anyway, I'm gonna select the arc. Okay. Now, this is text, all right, and I'm going to go up here to the path and take an object to path, and that turns it into a path. Okay, so it looks the same, but that's the reason is because it's got a fill and a stroke, and the fill makes it look the same. All right. Now, I'm there. If you go up to the text tool, there is a let's see, put on path. Don't do it. That's not what we're going to do. The reason why I turned this to here is because what I want to do is I'm going to select these two guys.